All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Chihayafuru, Season 2, Episode 2. We got some new club members.
Well, they're hopefuls, you know. They're thinking about it.
Right, there was that
Or they're
whole
thinking
thing.
about Tai Chi, you know what I'm saying.
Exactly, and that might not necessarily help them with their memorization of all 100 poems that kind of said that they had to do in a week and there would be a test, and if they didn't pass the test, they couldn't get in. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Now maybe the Tai Chi thing will motivate them in order to learn it,
Yeah,
but...
I feel like Satomu's whole thing of like, no, we should just let them play in the corner. Like that's actually like pretty good. And hey, handling cards over and over and over again is a part of repetition. That is a thing there. Even if they're just the ones that are using your old cards, you know?
Yep.
And because you got the new ones on the budget and stuff, you then have them just be constantly looking at them and reading them and playing other games with them.
Right.
That's still something. That's not nothing.
Yeah, because it is also a physical sport, you know? So, like, okay, they would have to actually develop the familiarity with then being like, okay, that's where the card is and hit it or whatever, but...
And then just also visually just actually reading them. Because that's the part that none of these people are willing to admit to all the hopefuls. Is how many hours did you spend reading the cards? 1,000, you know?
Yeah.
Like...
What's your strategy for being able to know exactly where on the board, grid, whatever setup that you have where they are?
I played 1,000 games. Oh.
Okay, good job.
Well, I love that for you. I'm out, you know? I'm out.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Let me just do the math here really quick.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, this is my life now. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It is really interesting how the reason why certain passions are niche is because usually the upfront cost associated in terms of time,
high barrier of
and
entry
stuff is really high.
Yep. So what they need to do is they need to cycle out which girls are sitting next to Tai Chi when they're all doing their own practice games and everything. That way, then they'll be properly motivated because they're next to the hot guy.
Maybe. But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. You see him? There he is.
Oh yeah, you'll get to see where the really
Where do you go? Where do you roam?
disciplined people go. She just full on signs up to the society as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the position.
I mean, you look ready. Like,
Yeah, just now practice those cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sumire and the blonde kid are actually the ones in the opening that had the like kind of ferocious look. So maybe they're just competitive for certain kind of things.
Sure.
What?
Every single time. But damn, Sumire, you sat there for 15 minutes while they just stared at the cards.
I mean, his ass is fully like, you know, like presented right there. Like,
yeah.
yeah. It's such a waste.
Yeah.
Sick.
Okay.
So cool, man. Oh. Oh. Ah. Come over here. Yeah.
Everything.
Huh? You're genuinely asking?
Sure.
45 years. Wow.
Nice.
That's a bit too deep for her, I
Yeah.
think. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's trying to help. Oh no. I think I realized what kind of arc this is for Chihaya.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, she was at least trying to be helpful.
I just hope this isn't the arc where she... What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
McCulling. Yep. Yeah, you weren't that serious? Yeah.
Good, less competition.
Dang.
Wow.
And they're just on their phones, zoning out. They have no passion.
Thinking about the poem?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But those guys were really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tsukuba.
Okay.
So I brought him here.
Right, but that means they can actually, like, teach him because it's not, 20 people who don't care.
We were? No. I feel so bad for the car.
They were about to make so many new friends. Yeah.
Oh! Yeah.
試合形式でやってみようか。いいんじゃね。花野さん、ちょっと爪が長いですね。爪切りありますよ。私せっかく綺麗にしてるのに。でも手がぶつかったら相手にぶつかるほど必死でやらないし。まあ確かに。
Yeah. Yeah.
今をやだ。ちょっと待って。今パンダ目になってるかも。花野さんちょっと。かなちゃん。
Kana's like, okay, match etiquette.
筑波くんだっけ？カルタもう覚えた
？20 though.
Okay.
いいんだよ、ゆっくりで。でも僕強いですよ。
What?
Yeah.
身だしなみじゃないですか。女たるもの。それはそうです。綺麗にしてて何が悪いんですか？花野さん。可愛くないと彼氏なんて恋愛のことしか考えられないなんて下品でくだらないですよ。恋愛の歌ばかりじゃないですか。人間の頭の中なんて愛だの恋だのなんですよ。
Damn.
カルタには絶対ハマんないけど恋は頑張るって決めたんです。真島先輩狙ってますから。筋の通った恋愛バカだ。メイクなんかする必要ないでしょ。高校生。やだ、マスカラだけですよ。火事でもマスカラ。
All right, how about this? You're being very rude by making your opponent wait.
吹かれたとも言うんですけど。あ、聞いたことあるそれ。いきなり下の句から読むってやつだ。本当に？
What?
そうですよ。下の句しか覚えてなくて。
Dang. Okay.
Okay.
基本的に3対3のチーム戦なんで、北海道にいた時は俺のチーム地元の大会では負け知らずでした。内地では紙の吹かれたが主流だったらそっちも強くなりたいなだけそのくらいに。
Still talking while his tongue's out.
競技カルタとはルールが全然違うでしょ。ちょっと丁寧に教えるからメモ取って。
9とか段とかどんくらいですか？
初段で C 級。
じゃあいいです。真島先輩は
Wow.
B 級だけど。じゃあ真島先輩がいいです。
私も
いいよ、練習しようぜ練習。
No, you don't get that.
経験者なら余計ちゃんと基礎から教えないと。
綾瀬、いつまでも甘いこと言ってんな。
Yeah.
前に俺らの力が落ちたら。
Yep.
This is
And you can't let the
This is the
new
difference of
people run the
priorities,
show.
yeah.
絶対すぐ強くなる。
早く終わんないかな。
同じようなことでぶつかってばっかで。
雰囲気悪い。
ここまで1年生にこだわるんだ。
あらざらだっけ。あれ？筑波くん左利きなんだ。
Oh.
あれを知る人にせん集も。違う。両手使ってる。しかも
Is that
左手でブ
illegal?
ロックしてる。
よーし、次も取るぞ。
相手を威嚇するような畳叩き。どうしよう。下の書かれた全然違う。
Okay, so he just has different rules that he's operating
Yeah.
on.
一点。
Okay.
強い指先。
All right.
So he's using both hands depending on which side it's on.
Sure.
花の色はこれはわかる。
First card.
Nice,
All right.
Yeah.
すみれちゃん。爪切ろう。筑波くんの強い指先見たでしょ。まともに当たったらすみれちゃんの爪の方が剥がれるよ。やだ。私そんなに必死にカルタに手出すよ。今初めて一枚見て嬉しかったで
I
す。
saw that joy.
だんだん早く取りたくなるんだよ。右手だけでもいいから。やめてください。私はカルタじゃなくて真島先輩と一緒にいたくて入部したんですか。
And there she goes.
もういいじゃん。あそこまではっきりカルタやる気ないって言って。
私去年の全国大会で倒れて棄権してから。
Ah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
One more.
やっと来てくれた。二人も残ってくれた。絶対ほっとかない。
She's so cool. Ow! Ow, that's the worst spot.
綾瀬、お前もうちょっと。
That's the worst spot.
筑波くんの強い指先。
綾瀬先輩に。
Yeah. Yes, she did.
俺は A 級で部で一番カルタ経験は長い。
Yeah.
俺が教えるんでいいか。じゃねえ。お願いしますだろ。
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew it.
競技カルタで使っていいのは片手だけ。両手は反則だ。
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
右の構えするから真似して。返事。はい。腰を少し浮かせて。頭が競技線超えてる。去年の全国大会。誰も綾瀬を攻める気にならなかったのは。
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Right.
下のカルタの時みたいに強くなりたいんだろ。強く。
Ugh.
よし。強くしてやるから。
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. That happened.
戻りましょう。
you gotta apologize about your love comments.
バレちゃった。真島先輩になんてくだらないってバカにしてんだったらほっといてよ。
Not to be a teenager.
花野さんに百人一首は恋の歌ばかりだって確かにそうだと思いました。人が思うことは昔も今もそう変わらない。ルールの向こうにある。さっきみたいな言葉で花野さんの本当の思いが部長に伝わった。
Ah, there we go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
ですから戻りましょう。
That little unstructured little outburst. Do you think that
Ah,
means anything?
Pshaw.
私にも今度マスカラ教えてください。
Oh,
まつげ3本しかないので。それと
oh.
恥ずかしいと泣ける心は
Kana, my heart,
Eh.
my heart.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yeah, I will follow you
Yeah.
anywhere. That's, oh, that was heartfelt and sweet.
私試合じゃなくて勉強しててもいいですか？まだちゃんと覚えてないんで。
Okay. And that also is good because then that's something where then she doesn't have to clip her nails yet.
伝わるわ。
Yeah, and so she can, do this first, see how she likes it. Oh, shit!
Oh!
Good job.
I will tell you, clipping your nails is actually a very essential part of a lot of these types of sports.
Yeah?
It's the same thing in Frisbee as well.
Yeah.
Clip your nails. You're going to be grabbing something flying and spinning at you.
Oh, yeah,
and
you don't
Sing
want
Speed's
that
coming out
to...
here.
Yeah.
And you want to catch it right here, but the amount of times you'll be doing this
And it'll,
to like
hit the hand or the fingers.
right, because even if you do it like this
Mm-hmm.
or this, you're doing this to immediately then flip it and throw.
Sure.
So the amount of times people will like shatter a nail,
Ugh.
especially if it's a little bit long. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's brutal. That's right, Connor.
Okay,
Crying in
yeah.
embarrassment is a sign of a beautiful soul. But the thing is that it doesn't have to be even an embarrassment.
Yep.
It can just be pure, genuine crying of raw emotion.
That's right.
So hell yeah, we got beautiful souls.
Yeah, right. And yes, just a little outburst is not enough. You know, did you write them a 7-page letter? No, single space. So you're good. Like you're like, where did that come from?
I've never even wrote a 5-page single space letter.
7-page digital single space, not even like on a written page where it's gonna be way fewer words. Yeah. Point is,
your next level thing is you have to first write it digital, and then you hand scribe.
That would have been a lot
digital
smarter.
stuff.
And then maybe during that time you think about what you're doing and you say, "Nah, I'm not gonna send this."
Oh, that's depressing.
But
Oh man.
but
Oh. Incredible.
yeah, that outburst that couldn't possibly convey your feelings.
No.
Because you don't even fully understand your feelings about Tai Chi right now.
Well,
so
also just being there for somebody, like from a practical sense, it doesn't necessarily mean even love. Like
Yeah.
it could just be no, I think that they're really cool and I really admire them and
Yep.
I want to be around them. That shows interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
But in a lot of ways, the measure of your desire for somebody is, that's one metric.
Yep.
But another one is actually how it goes up against who you are. Because we're
Sure.
constantly measuring ourselves, right? But the amount of time people actually spend measuring others is very small. Like, people just don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
People just
Yes,
don't care.
yes.
So the idea that he's like measuring your kind of stuff in that regard, no, like, girl,
Yeah.
he doesn't care.
And
Like,
let's be real.
It's nice that you did this thing in a way that kind of clears the air a little bit, because he already knew.
Oh, yeah.
But now that he's certain, it's okay, cool. So I can just kind of make
Right.
sure to be on guard and not give her any false hope.
And
cool.
maybe even more importantly, now that you've said something so you know that I know, you'll be less weird about it. Like, you know,
True.
like, and then, okay, if you're going to stay in the club and you're going to learn to play karate, great. And if not, then goodbye.
I will say, though, it is a sign of, I would say, a form of maturity that if you have a crush on somebody and you're pretty chill just being cool with
Whatever, yeah.
with whatever, meaning like it was mentioned, you were rejected, you just continue hanging out around them in a way that's platonic and cool, you're a pretty just mature, wise person.
Yep.
Because most kids around that age would freak out and be like, I'm never gonna spend any time with you ever.
Oh, yeah, because I've been so crushed or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'm devastated.
Yep,
I have to
yep.
move on. It's like, that was definitely just a crush then, that's for sure.
Exactly. But, okay, we have it down from the 20 to the 2. All right, cool.
In one episode.
One episode.
I feel vindicated. This is
Yeah.
about what I expected to happen in episode 1. And the fact that it happened here, I'm like, good. They didn't waste any time. It effectively did happen in episode 1. It's just the result there's a delay, you know.
Secondary beneficial effect of having Mashima go off to the society to practice, because then all the casuals were like, wait, so he's not even going to be here? All right, yeah, I'll check out other clubs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something to be said, though, that this episode focused on. The idea that because they're a club, their focus to basically bring the noobs or the hopefuls in this case up to speed as fast as possible. Because they haven't really got proper structure with regards to how to handle new members.
Yeah, they do not
really
have
do
like
not.
a teaching curriculum or
So
anything.
in a lot of ways, it's kind of irresponsible of them to take on new members at all. Like they don't have any plan in place for how to handle one new member.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, like I mean, yes, they can teach them things and all that stuff, but I would almost think that the thing that they would want to do as the if you're ever wanting to get a lot better, you don't just want to be doing this at like club practice or whatever.
Right.
This is the society that we go to. That's where the people are really good, and they'll also know how to teach you, a lot better than we can. But yeah. But we've got 2 new members, and they actually seem like they're going to stick around. Great. I loved the whole bit of like, oh, this other guy's from like not around here.
He's from Hokkaido.
He's
the
from
island
Hokkaido.
Up north,
Yeah, and so they play karate differently there with skipping to the second verse. That's wild, and just different
kind
rules.
of makes sense, honestly. It's just a waste of time. Like, honestly, the point that they're making with that is that, yeah, you're just trying to take the cards. So this first verse is basically just there to be repeated over and over and over and over and over again. And so you save 5 seconds every time you do a card take.
Sure.
Doing that multiplicatively, potentially 50 times, that saves some time.
And the whole idea of bringing up the way that the rules are different is also a way to show us some of the rules, like the idea that you actually can't use both hands, right?
Right.
It's not just that the dude is ambidextrous or something. That's just how they play it over there, and that doesn't actually fly here. Right. Or, various things like that. Cool.
Yeah, the part that I can initially think as being a big part of that as well is using 2 arms would force more collisions as well. You would bump into the other person's motion of their arm more consistently.
Yeah, and there's more of a if you decide to do a defensive play when you just have the one hand, that's more of a decision. There's a direct cost because you also would want to be able to get a card and things like that. Whereas if you have 2 arms, as long as you're coordinated enough and stuff, you'd always want to be using the other arm probably. But
yeah, I could see some aspect of it where it also just doesn't make sense to use 2 arms from a long-term perspective, because once you get fast enough, nobody is actually really ambidextrous enough to make that kind of a difference.
Well, and also in order to maintain the proper posture of leaning over and all that stuff, you want to be able to have that third point of contact with the ground.
Well, right. Third point of contact, definitely. But specifically having, because they're always going to have 4 points of contact on the ground. I don't think they're even allowed to have a hand up waiting.
No, right. But when they actually go to make the move, especially if they're doing something defensive, right? But
sure. But the other thing I noticed was that with the way their legs are angled, you would not actually want to have a perfectly squared position. You'd want to have one of the legs or knees slightly forward or back because of the way that your arm basically is going to be driving from hip rotation and
Sure, have it be adjusted a bit to favor your dominant arm.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah. Sumire's an interesting character, and the fact that we spent the majority of the time kind of using this episode to get to know her, I feel her plight, because while she has a crush and she's motivated by love, what I think is more genuine with this is that she's actually motivated by connection. And the girls that she was hanging out with,
I was just thinking of that.
She did not have genuine connection with them, and it's not because they're not genuine people, but because they don't have anything really that they care about.
Yeah, there wasn't much
that's going to keep them actually talking and engaged with her. And one of the things that we've seen with Sumire is that she doesn't mince words. She'd rather just get to the nitty-gritty really quick. She'd rather just dispense with the bullshit, basically, and just talk bluntly.
I'm going after Mishima, and things like that.
Well, right, but also then about stuff in general, like the idea that, I put on specifically the makeup and stuff like that because I want to look pretty. That's what I want to do. Don't you want to do that?
Right.
And it's no. Like the idea that Kana was kind of lying, was not being genuine about the thing, and that she doesn't really know how to do that. And also it's something that maybe she's been a bit insecure about because her eyelashes are super thin. and it's something that she's just like, I don't know. I don't know how it would look good if my eyelashes have like very few like strands specifically. And it's like, oh, hey, there you go. You resonated specifically with an aspect of something that Sumire was talking about, and thus you met her where she was at and was like, hey, we can talk about things that don't have anything to do with Karuta because I want to be your friend.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
I just think that's going to be really sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I also like that they kept bringing up the whole idea of like, hey, Chihaya, you can't let them like run you ragged. Like, just because they want things to be a certain way, and we do want them as members,
they don't get to make demands.
They don't get to make demands. Yep. We set the rules here. This is maybe a new situation that we haven't really dealt with before, because before we were just getting enough people to actually like have a proper club.
Right. Yes.
But now that we have a proper club, we need to determine, like, we need
our
to
own
get
structure.
Our own structure, and be a lot more specific about how this works, because that's what we're bringing people into, right? We can't just rely on the fact that, like, oh, well, there were enough really experienced people in the club that the two people who didn't know what they were doing would just, like, follow their lead. No, you're actually kind of outnumbered now, right? Like, so that's not enough. You actually have to figure out how you're going to run things, but...
Yeah, because you're lucky in the fact that Satomu and Kana both had their
moment.
aha moment,
Yeah.
where they became like fired up about Karuta, and thus they're kind of self-motivated now.
Right.
You don't
have
really
to worry
need
about
to
them.
invest energy into them in order to keep them interested in Karuta.
Yep.
You do need to invest energy into them, but you don't need to look over their shoulder, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But okay, now we've
wow.
got 7 people, so we could actually sub people in if we need to, even though these people probably wouldn't be able to do very well in an actual tournament, but we will see.
And for different reasons. But I do love though the bit that Sumire had with Harada, the older guy.
Yeah, that was cool.
And how he was like, I don't know either. I don't know what it is I love about Karuta. I've been playing for 45 years.
Yep.
But that's why I play, because I want to know why. Like,
Still trying to figure it out.
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a typical kind of older person response to these
sharing
kinds of
their
things.
wisdom and all that, yeah.
Well, right. But the idea specifically that they've come to the realization that they don't know what it is they love so much about Karuta. Like, that's something that a younger player would just say, no, I love taking cards. That's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
I love competing. I love... they just answer.
I love the fact that it's a memory game or something.
Right,
I feel like
right.
that's something I'm good at or
right,
whatever.
but the idea that he went kind of backwards to the, no, I don't know. What he's more saying is that I'm not certain about any of this.
I know that I love it, but...
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But he doesn't need to have an answer to the question, because that's also just a wisdom thing, is that just knowing you don't know anything.
Right.
And so when someone asks a pretty general, broad question like that, he's just comfortable being like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also find the journey of discovering what I love so much about this more fun than actually whatever it is I find fun.
Right, because the love itself is probably going to grow over time, and so you're looking at someone you're talking to someone who has a 45-year love, right? That they've gotten to know very well.
Right.
Right now, your love for Taichi is a very young one.
Yeah,
right?
It's 45 minutes. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Eventually you'll get to 45 days, right?
Yes.
But that is going to evolve and change, right? And so that then feeds
Right.
into the whole thing of he couldn't possibly know how you felt, because how you felt now is not even going to be how you feel in 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And so if this is going to be something where it is serious and you want him to take it seriously, then that bit there is just going to be a little footnote. And so get to know this love, and maybe also Karuta along the way.
Are you willing to devote yourself to someone and choose them? Because if you can't do that, how could you ever understand Taichi's love?
Right, because you can't just choose a part of them. You got to choose the whole package, the whole kit and caboodle.
Right.
And Taichi has also chosen Karuta. So,
in a lot of ways, if you want to, it's a pretty easy win here, but if you want Taichi to fall in love with you, you have to fall in love with what he's fallen in love with.
Right.
Which is Karuta.
That's
and
not
in a lot of ways, that's something you can do.
Right.
This is a thing that I very much fight against whenever people push back on the opposite of this. Is that basically that You can't help what you love, and you can't help what you're passionate about. And I cry bullshit, specifically in the area of passion.
Sure.
Because that's an area specifically that passion is easily drummed up. It is easily channeled for a time. Consistent passion is hard.
Yeah.
I agree. But the actual stuff that makes you passionate about something is mostly just in the amount of time you spend with it.
Right. Usually when
It's
people
tautological.
Right. Usually when people talk about the whole idea of like, you can't help what you love or what you're passionate about, what they're meaning is that I can't necessarily explain why I love this thing or person
Yes.
or why I'm passionate about it, but it happened, right? And that totally works as far as a statement and communicating the idea that, well, now I love it, and so that's how it is, right?
Right.
But when it comes to actually developing a passion, no, that's you can do that. It might not come as naturally to you as it does to others. The fact that I don't love writing as much as Brando Sando is really frustrating sometimes. But, you know, there are definite concrete things that you can do in order to stoke it and build it.
And you can hack a passion by channeling another passion. I'm just going to say it. This is something that I think a lot of people aren't willing to admit, but in a lot of ways, Sumire is kind of genius here. By using your passion for Tai Chi to develop a passion for Karuta, she will probably get a passion for Karuta.
Right.
Maybe even faster than, in a lot of ways, some of the other characters developed their own passion for it because some of them just had the aha moment. But for those that had to actually develop it, maybe like Tai Chi, you know, because his was the exact same thing.
Hacking teenage hormones for an ulterior motive. If you can manage to do that, that's a powerful juice you just tapped into.
I don't think it's that hard, though. I think that's the point, is that actually most people do things because they're passionate about something that's on the other side of that thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, right. In the same way that, like, if it had been Tai Chi that was teaching the girls in the club, right? Granted, the roots wouldn't have necessarily gone very deep, and so it might have totally fizzled out and all that stuff, and so maybe it's good that this was done sooner rather than later, all that stuff. But there is absolutely the possibility that there would have been other people like Sumire where because it was convenient, it wouldn't have had to be as conscious about it as Sumire, right?
Yep.
And then, oh, hey, the pattern builds, and all of a sudden, you know what? Yeah, Karta's pretty great, you know?
Karta's pretty great. And also, oh man, I'm just chaining this from thing to thing to thing here, but this can also help you realize what things in your life aren't actually passions. Because you're not actually like looking towards something beyond it. It's just something you're just lazily choosing on day in and day out basis. And because you have enough repetition about it, what do you know? You became passionate about it.
That's true.
So this can work the other way as well, where if you just do something enough, then you're like, oh, well, hey, this anime thing.
I think that's what people call ruts, you know? Like,
Well, no, because you could watch enough anime and become passionate about anime.
Oh, you're right. You were thinking about it from the optimistic perspective, right?
No. This is, I think, what most people actually end up calling their passions, is that it's something that they've done enough times to where they now actually are genuinely passionate about it.
Absolutely. Like when I think about one of my big passions of like TTRPGs, right? A lot of it came from the fact that Caleb brought home a book one day and was like, this is probably too complicated for you, you know, because I was really young. And I'm like, well, I took that personally. And so then I read it over and over and over and over and over again till I really knew that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, hey, I'm good at this thing now. It's easy to be passionate about something that you're good at, you know? Like that's...
Again,
that's pretty easy, you know.
Again, these are all things that get you into passion. But yes, these are steps. These are processes.
Like it's theoretically possible that I could have developed a similar passion for Ultimate Frisbee that you have.
Right. Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Nope.
Right. But the things that could have caused that to happen are not some like, you know, the universe, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Things or whatever.
Right. You can make that. You can.
You chose fencing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You had no actual like other thing that made fencing.
Yeah, someone in my writing group just said, "Hey, I swing around a sword every week." And I'm like, oh, wait, that actually sounds really cool.
That sounds like it could be cool, yeah.
And then, oh, hey, you know.
You did it, and you're like, this is cool.
This is really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How many passions are just on the other side of you, like, letting your desire be something that guides you?
Yeah. By the way, swords are really cool. You should, get into that. It's awesome.
Yeah, sorry, y'all who are tired of hearing us talk about the same two passions over and over
But
and
I've
over
got a
again.
5.5 footer that's on the way, and I'm so excited for it to get here.
I've got a really crazy all-day tournament coming up here. I'm about to be a goddamn anime character.
Yes, let's go.
A little bit here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing for like 7 hours straight. Yeah, about that.
Damn.
So that's on and off sprinting for 7 hours. You do the math,
That's
yeah.
No wonder you liked that running anime.
Right, exactly. Running's just it's crazy. But yeah, crying out in passion also is a sign of a beautiful soul.
That's right.
So hell yeah, let's go. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel, see if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.